What's up, everybody? You're back with the Chosen Con, and today in the studio we got Mr. Kashif Pasta, aka Director Extraordinaire, aka Sham's partner, aka is Aisha's husband.
Yeah.
So today we talked about a bunch of things in the podcast.
Yeah.
One thing, first of all, I wanted to dive into was you were born on what date exactly?
I was born on September 11th.
And where were you? Where were you on September 11th? Was it 2002 occurred?
2001.
2001, sorry.
I was on a camping trip with my elementary school, man. We used to go on these camping trips every year in September, completely cut off from society, no communication back home, no electricity. So I came back on Friday to a very different world.
You're like, what the? It was my birthday, guys. Where's the candle? Oh my God. What happened?
Like already in a Brown family, like birthdays were not really a thing. Yeah. And then it's just double. Like you cannot be Muslim, go in a Safeway on September 11th, be like, I'm having a party at my house, get me up with some cupcakes. Like you gotta it locked it in. It locked in the no birthdays. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Okay, so we learned that about him. We learned that you and your partner Sham, we talked about
business partner.
Business partner. Sorry, the lines get blurred.
You never know, man.
Right? And so you and Sham in grade 10, you guys created. What did you guys create at Tomatoes?
Yeah, we made a film festival for the Surrey School District.
What was it called?
Kind of montage.
Yeah,
montage film festival to try to kind of like get new media at the time to be recognized in the school system, because
this was the first ever.
Yeah, in BC for sure. Yeah.
Damn, man. Yeah. And you told me a fun fact. Who won the first ever montage?
So I thought it was just these dudes I knew, Gurinder and Hassan, and it turns out
Hassan's my cousin, so yeah.
Classic Surrey. Yeah. Talked to one brown dude about another brown dude. He's like, that's my cousin.
Yeah,
so like that literally happened, and it continues to happen because everyone's your cousin apparently.
We're all related. Okay, before the British came, we were all united, and then everything just went down to hell. Okay, so then we talked about that, and then we talked about your adventure from you went to school, you were entrepreneur. Right. What was your parents' business actually?
Very entrepreneurial. My parents have an electronic components business. Yeah, wholesale VCR TV parts back in the 90s.
And stuff. So you were doing that, and then you went into film, and then after that, man, like what we talked about was you going to Toronto and New York. And what happened when you went out there?
Yeah, I took a leave of absence from my job. I was working in feature length visual effects, like enjoying it, loving it in a way, but also getting a little bit burnt out.
What kind of films were you like?
So I spent a year of my life on Monster Trucks, which is a great movie. It's on Netflix now. I just saw they added it this week. Check it out, Paramount Pictures. But we were working on all sorts of feature films at the studio. Like my coworkers were all on like Batman vs Superman, James Bond, Spectre, Hunger Games at the time, and Fast 7, Fast 8 eventually. And they're all great movies, and I was like loving the work, but realizing that like what I really got into this for was to build culture, and I was kind of just working on heroic white dude movies, which are like fun. Every couple of years you get Tyrese in a Fast and Furious movie, and that's cool. But I was like, we had this show, Welcome to Surrey, that had been percolating for years, and we're like, let's make this happen. So when I was in New York and Toronto, I was like, let me get as far away as possible, because I'm working these like 100-hour weeks, take a leave of absence, talk to some previous clients, Muslim Americans, talk to them about some of my ideas. They were very encouraging. And then I saw this show for Hassan Minhaj. I saw a poster for it. He was doing his one-man show, previews, off Broadway. And I was like, okay, I'm probably going to get disappointed, because like I've been disappointed by some brown comedians before, but got to support, got to be down for the cause. I'll go, at the very least, I'll have something to like talk smack about. And it changed my life. Like it was an authentic story, well told. It wasn't brown good. It wasn't Muslim good. Like Lena Khan, the director, she talks about like you go to a restaurant and you're like, was it good? You're like, well, it was Muslim good. Like it wasn't like good for a restaurant. I'm just like
we lowered the standards for some strange reason.
And I was like, he's not being that, and he's being authentic, and he's throwing in Hindi words and not translating them and all this stuff, and it blew my mind. And that, amongst other things, talking to some friends and stuff, was very encouraging.
Shout out Bicky. We gotta give you love, Bicky.
Shout out Bicky, because Bicky read the article that I wrote about it. Hassan read the article. And Bicky was like, we have to bring the show to Vancouver. And I was like, that's a little too big. I just want to do something like it. And he's like, no, we got to bring it. Yeah. And Bicky, like, once he gets an idea, he's like, there's no reason it can't be possible. And eventually, we did do the live version of the show in Vancouver in February 2017.
That's how we met.
Then it went on Netflix in May. Yeah, so that's how we met, was through that, and then through my brother-in-law. And then everybody. So it's like, again, it's like someone I'm really like. I grew up with like no extended family in Vancouver, and then like my brother-in-law moved here, and he's like connecting me to people that like have lived here my whole life.
No, he's a great guy.
He's great. Yeah,
we had a great conversation. And they told me, "Gosh, this is my brother." I was like, "What?" And then the next thing I know, I'm in your basement.
Exactly. Well, that sounds creepy, but you came over to my house.
Yeah, I came.
And my office was in my basement. I didn't like find you, lock you up.
No.
It's not a Saw situation.
No. So so I was in your basement. We talked about like, and the last thing we talked about is you just got married.
Yeah.
Right. Shout out to your wife.
Yeah.
For having to deal with you, and
I agree.
Having a director as a husband, and then.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And then the next thing was that you moved to LA, right? And you're half your time spent to LA, half your time here.
Yeah.
And you end up creating this web series called Welcome to Surrey. I know you've been talking about it a lot, right? I wanted to check out Welcome to Surrey.
Can't talk about it enough, man. We need to get in front of some more people.
Right. Talk about. He's gonna give you a little. Tell us about Welcome to Surrey.
Well, Welcome to Surrey is a show.
Pitch.
Well, no, I'm not gonna pitch it, but basically, it's a web series for Telus Optic. It's on their on-demand service, but it's also on YouTube and Facebook at welcometosurrey.ca. And it's a show about this med school student in Toronto, Sanit, and she graduates med school, and you know how like in Canada. Because it's all one system, you just get sent to a certain hospital. You get sent for your residency, and because she speaks Punjabi, she speaks Hindi. She's doing really well in school. They're like, we don't want to like stick you in the middle of nowhere. We'll give you a really big city. We'll give you a big hospital. You're going back to Surrey, and that's like the one place in the world she's trying to avoid. She's like, half the reason she probably went to med school is to get away from Surrey, right? Like I was saying in the podcast, like probably 50% of South Asian like post-grad studies are like to get away from home with an excuse. It's like I can get married or I can get a degree. It's all right, yeah, it's cool. At least it's only a couple years. So, and it's legit, and that's why we're super educated. It's dope. But for her character, she's sent back to Surrey, and she has to move back in with her dad. She has to reconnect with all the friends who never left. So it's just 5 episodes. The whole season's only an hour, but you can binge it now. Welcometosurrey.ca.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
incredible.
you very much.
I watched it. That's at the premiere.
Yeah,
and it was,
we took over City Hall, man.
It's just the beginning. Just wait. It's just the beginning, right? Before Kashif and Strahm and Dunya Media. We talk about why it's called Dunya Media as well. Ooh. That was deep. And that's honestly, I'm looking forward to it, right? Because to even end this off, I realized that the tide is already shifting. You got Master of None. You got Riz Ahmed with the... what was that? What was it? The Night Of, and you got
Night Of and Sweatshop Boys and Star Wars.
And Four Lions and whatever it may be.
It's crazy.
It's happening. And so I have no doubt, man, that maybe next year we'll interview you again and you'll be like, yeah, man, I just worked on this film with who knows, maybe it's going to be something crazy. Right? I'm going to have to call your agent and be like, can I get his costume available?
How about you call your agent? We'll like, deal with it, man. And it's interesting because like all of us have been on this like diversity thing without calling it that for like years and years. And now it's becoming trendy.
Yeah.
And like, you know what? Trump's America. People want to help Muslims. They want to help people of color. They want more stories because they're realizing they can't just rely on some government force to give it to them. And so, with all the negatives of the time, there's also
positive.
There's also some strong positives, and it's people want to listen, so it's time to speak up.
I tell people this. I'm like, it's like the best time to be a brown guy, man.
Yeah. Sham's like Obama taught me I had a voice. Trump taught me I need to use it.
Yes.
And that's basically
all right. That's how we end off. All right.
Using his line.
Damn.
Shout out to Sham Valera.
All right. So check out Kashif's Welcome to Surrey. You're going to have his Instagram, everything like that. Reach out to him if you want to. And stay tuned. Peace. Thank you for watching our videos. Your support really means a lot to us. Check out our podcast and honestly check out the other conversations we've been having as well.